Welcome back to Real Migos. We got myself and Ian of Austin. What's up,
How's
dude?
it going?
It's been good, man. I'm sad we haven't had Real Migos in a while. I've been running around. You've been running around. You've been out
Running
of town.
around.
Yeah, it's been a while. We already got some good comments in the comments. Looks like Goldman
I
Sachs
see that.
could correct. I mean, we'll talk about that. I'm sure.
Yeah.
We'll see. Let's get
I
some.
know.
There we go.
Here's what I'm gonna say. I've got deals happening. That's all I'm gonna say. Deals are happening. So
Yeah, you know what's interesting? I was looking at the data today, Ian, and
yeah,
I had put out this like 30-second thing on the channel probably about a month ago. Like, hey, in the last 7 days, we've had this amount of closings, this amount under contract, this amount hit the market. If you notice, you have more hitting the market or more going under contract. And somebody just got so angry that I would say that. And then you look at the numbers. The month over month numbers, we saw a huge increase in the amount of stuff closed. So
yes.
I'll show that. And so from an agent standpoint, when you're seeing everything go under contract, well, not everything, but when you're seeing a lot of stuff go under contract and stuff's moving, of course it is moving. So welcome back. Michael Perry says, hello, Michael, good to see you. Rambo, the Austin homes for sale guy, is here.
Love it.
I'm gonna Rambo. Am I gonna see you tomorrow at? We're gonna be tomorrow. What 10 to noon? We're gonna be at Mozart. So if you're in town, want to say what up? We're gonna be there for a Real Broker event for our broker. But swing by and say hi. Heck yeah. So Ian, we got major news happening. We got the Fed announced after 11 straight months of increase. They say no increase. They're going to take a pause. I saw some interesting things happen with the 10-year treasury, which directly impacts our interest rates. So we'll talk about that. Also, let's talk about what's happening with the Austin numbers, man. I noticed if you're a homeowner that has your home on the market right now and getting ready to sell, there's some pretty interesting information that might help you either price your home correctly or maybe dissuade you from putting your home on the market. So we'll talk about that. And then we'll talk about, man, I think buyers are ready for a field day coming up here pretty soon. And then after that, we are going to talk about Georgetown.
What's with that base? It's because Costco and HEB opened up. Or Costco not yet, but the largest HEB opened up there.
Oh, that's right. Well, my neck of the woods is getting an HEB opening up July 5th. So I'm excited about that. But anyway, let's talk about the market real quick. We'll get to the Fed in a second, but I've been super busy. We've had a lot of clients reach out to us in the last few weeks. You said you were super busy. What's going on? What are you seeing in the market?
So I still have lots of buyers and listings. I think the listings, there are some positives and negatives. I think the thing that people have to realize, like you said earlier, is are they pricing it accurately?
Right.
And are they listening to whoever their agent is at the time? And so when I do buyer consultations, I sit with my buyers and I'm like, that's overpriced, that's overpriced, that's overpriced. And it's easy to whittle it down or leverage that as an opportunity, right? So if we see something that's priced pretty well or that it's been sitting on the market, we go for it. So I just got one accepted earlier today. I'm excited for it. Just good situation for that.
Yeah, man. We close on our 1031 next week that we had to do with our beach. We sold our beach condo. So we sold that. We're closing on, dude, we got a smoking deal on a place in Dripping Springs as an investment. So pretty excited about that. And then, dude, yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of success with clients not having to go, like, it's crazy because I just listed, 2 weeks ago, I listed a property in Circle C, and first week really didn't have any movement. We said, okay, we priced this thing strong. We knew we priced it strong. There's the price we listed at and the price that we thought it was going to sell for. And we literally got exactly what we said it was going to sell for, which was pretty impressive. So
yeah.
So the market's still moving.
Do you have any listings, or have you had any listings that have sat longer than you expected for any reason?
No, I mean, even that one was, I think, 9 days on market, and we knew what I pretty much, all of my clients right now, I'm telling them, hey, if we're going to list it and we're pricing it, if we price it right below where I'm saying, to go fast.
Yeah.
If we price it where it should list, not necessarily where it's going to sell, then expect 14 days. Yeah. And that's even in the numbers. I'll show you this real quick, Ian. So what's interesting is everybody's talking about last month. Here we go. That's April. Yeah. So if we look at April, 48 days of market, 48 days on market for Austin. In fact, let's just do.
That's Austin proper. So you're doing.
Yeah.
MSA.
I hate the MSA. I freaking hate the MSA because it has Caldwell County in it. I understand like putting the counties that touch Travis County, which would be Hayes, Williamson, and Bastrop, even though I don't think Bastrop's a good indication of Austin. But either way, Caldwell doesn't even touch Austin. So really it should be a 4-county thing. And these numbers would be drastically different. Because I think Caldwell, here's the difference. I mean, here's Bastrop's 380, Caldwell, I just passed 297.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And that's a 45+ minute drive to Austin. Anyway, so here's the April numbers. I want to focus on this number, 71 days on market in April.
Yeah, that's
April, but hold on. 65. So we're seeing a reduction back in days on market if we're looking at. And what's really interesting to me, so the other thing about the Austin numbers, I want to talk about the Fed thing, but the other thing about the Austin numbers that's interesting is closed sales 2,600. Okay. Down 18% year over year. Watch this. This is May, 3,400. So for all of us agents out, and only down 4% year over year. Last year was crazy, and we're only down 4% in May. That's a lot of sales. So
that's a lot of sales. Well, so as you were pulling this up, I wanted to pull up 2021 numbers, April 2021, just for a quick comparison to see kind of like where we've come in the last couple of years. And closed sales were at 1167 in April of 2021.
I don't know if I have, hold on, closed sales. Hold on. I might actually have that data in front of me. Give me 1 second.
Yep.
I made these cool graphs. So this is in the MSA months of inventory. Hold on.
And that was Austin proper, by the way.
Oh, Austin proper. Why is this?
MSA was 1219, or Williamson County was 1219.
There we go. Okay, now I can do it.
But just think about how many more. I mean, we're tripling the number of houses closed.
Yeah. What were we talking about? Closings?
Closed sales.
Oh, here we go. There we go. Here's closed sales. So, this is Austin's closed sales. Oh, I had it right for the MSA. But yeah, so if you think this is 2021, the blue number. So 2021, we had more closings in 2021 than we did 2022, and then more closings in 2023. This is the Austin. I have, hold on, MSA closed. Here we go. That's the one. So if you look, what's interesting is because we saw March go up to 2,800, then drop down to 2,611, and then up to, that's a big jump. That's almost 1,000 extras. Jump. Yeah. All those agents that were crying these couple months, probably like, oh, I finally have a closing. But almost 4,000 closings though in 2021. It's a big drop. It's a big drop.
It's still a lot though. So how about days on months of inventory? Let's talk about that for a minute.
Yeah. And this is where I want to get into make sure I'm still see you on screen. This is where I really, really want to get into the trouble that sellers are going to be in the next few months. And this is something I've been saying for what now? Like a while. Like this is something I've been saying literally since January. I said, hey, we're going to see some issues if this doesn't change. But look, here's a months of inventory. This is the months of inventory for MSA.
Yep.
If you look, 2021, we're at 0.4, 0.4, 0.45, 0.4,
Nothing.
0.8. I mean, this time last year, we were at 1.2. Now
Yeah.
it shoots up. So if we don't see inventory really, really shoot up in June, if we don't, we're going to see October numbers. Okay. Right. So we're going to see this right now. And you would think that we would see that right now, right? If we're at 3.4 months inventory compared to previous years, that we would see a huge drop in prices in May. Well, here's the MSA closed. So this orange line is 2023, right? So we saw flattening instead of a drop.
Yeah.
So, which tells me, it's been a busy month.
It has.
Maybe this goes up. Maybe it comes down with the months of inventory. But if you're a seller putting your home on the market right now.
So for your offers that you've put out, have you been putting list price offers?
It depends. If something's like 10 days on market, no. You're
under?
We're under
10 days on market.
Yeah. And if I pull the stat up, I think I read an article that said Austin is selling 94% of the list price is the average below. About 6% below list price, which sounds about right. But you do have a lot still selling over. Hold on. I wouldn't say a lot still selling over. What's interesting? Yeah. So I know like everybody's saying, these, when I talk to sellers that are putting their home on the market, they're like, I can't wait for some stupid Californian to overpay for my home. Well, if you think about it nationally right now, there's a stat showing it was like 33% of purchases are cash. So there's a heavy amount of cash buyers in the market right now. Take a stab at, I did the last 90 days, Austin and then the MSA. So Austin, let's start with the MSA. What do you think the MSA total cash sales are? Like percent of sales, right? So if 30% or 32% was nationally, what are we for cash sales?
For Austin?
Austin or the MSA, either way.
I'm going to go with a little higher. Let's go with 42%.
42%. In the chat, drop down. If 33% of properties are selling cash, I think it's 32, 33 nationally. What do you think Austin or the MSA is? Drop that, and I'm going to answer the question here in a second. Ready? Got it? 19% for the MSA, 23% for Austin proper.
What? Interesting. I could have sworn it would be higher. I wonder why it's less.
Now, there's something that's also pretty interesting, and I don't have the stat in front of me.
What? Are we talking about? We're talking about buyers, right?
Buyers, yeah. So, the amount of sales that were cash.
Here's where I'm going with this. I think if it is lower, it's because some people spread their wealth across multiple properties.
Yeah.
I think that's still happening a little bit.
Oh, hold on.
Right. Or the builders. If builders are offering crazy incentives, they're not going to do that with cash.
Yeah.
Right. So that's another opportunity for that number to be reduced.
Well,
from being a cash offer.
And I want to say I brought up this stat, and this is where I think Austin is going to still run into some trouble. If you look at the numbers didn't really spike. In fact, let me show you this. This will actually show you a little bit better detail. No, I don't want to do that.
I've got good eyes, and that's not very easy to see.
Hold on. Look at that. Here's what I want to show you. So this over here is new construction, right? For Austin. This is just city of Austin. Here's what's interesting. New construction, if we go down here, so for all residential new construction, the closing price was $580.
Okay.
As city of Austin, I want to look at, I wanted to show this. So 580, but the median for everything was 550. For some reason, they do this city of Austin and this Austin thing. Here's what's interesting though. And this is where new construction for just Austin. So I don't know where they pull these numbers, how they're different for city of Austin, was 630. So city of Austin, I don't know how they pull that number, but 630. And then our overall median is 562. So there's some trickery in the numbers, but
well, that's like No, that's not Easton Park, is it? But some of those newer developments that are on the outskirts that aren't. That's all it is, because they're pricing higher.
Yeah. I'll have to look at the MSA numbers on this to show you, but the point I was going to try to make, and this disproves exactly what I was going to say, is that a lot of those, and if we were to look at the MSA larger area, it probably show different, but the new construction sales are pulling down some of the resale values, right?
Yes.
Because I mean, that's higher, but if I can go get a new construction for a little bit more, I'm going to spend a little bit more on the new construction and not buy these single family residences.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, especially if they're enticing you with incentives. We'll pay all your closing costs and buy down your rate to 5%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can see people getting excited about that.
Yeah, for sure. So my whole synopsis is, if that's even the word to use, is that if we're looking at sellers putting their homes on the market, here's what really scares me for you. If you are that seller, is this, where did I go? Not that one. Oh, God damn, this thing is in the way. There we go. Not months of inventory, but this inventory.
Yeah.
So
actual inventory.
Actual inventory. So this is 8960. So this has gone up from April to May. What is that? 700, right? So we'll call it 700. So 700 units, it's gone up. Look at the rise from March to April was only 200. Look at the rise from February. February is a big jump.
That's bigger.
Yeah. But you notice, and this will follow exactly the chart I showed, when we see a big jump in inventory is when we see not a big jump in prices or a decrease in prices. Look, here's the MSA, right? Back in February, we saw a huge jump in inventory. Look at that. It dropped. And then same thing here. So what I'm saying is that we're probably, for the MSA, we're not going to end up over 2021's numbers, and we may not end up over 2022's numbers, because look at this is the exact cycle we see every year, isn't it? Where it kind of does this up here. I'll do the Austin one. Look, no, that's not the one I wanted to show.
Well, when we do talk about the Fed, there's one thing that you didn't mention that I think will impact that chart. Remind me to come back to it.
Oh, well, there we go. That's not the one I was looking for. Austin numbers. Here we go. So here's the Austin numbers. Now, I don't really trust this 550, but that's what they reported, because I showed you the other Austin number was 565 to 564. So it really should be right here, but whatever. That's what the way they reported the numbers. So we saw a month over month decline. But if we're looking at the trends where we see this increase and then decrease, if we see more inventory hit, which I mean, the numbers show we could see more inventory, then we're absolutely going to see prices drop.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the question. Builders are still building, and sellers are in a position, like Aaron's comment, where they're kind of being pushed into selling in some situations. So yeah, I see the inventory increasing. Yeah.
So look, and then if we're way over June, when June hits, because right now, if we look at let's see, will this still be active?
And if we think about the inventory increasing, we have to think about how does that affect our average months, our months of inventory. So if our months of inventory right now are 3.4 months of inventory, what does that push us to? 4, 4.5, 5 months?
Could be.
So, and then this goes back to what you were saying. Sellers, they're either going to have to price very aggressively or offer something that the competition isn't.
And that's the problem, is that if you can't compete with builders, I mean, that's where builders are having a heyday right now, right?
Oh, yeah.
Is because they can offer things that most of these other people can't. So builders, I don't see builders throwing out, there's a few, but typically this time of year, what you and I see is these builders who go, oh, come bring us a buyer. We're going to give you 5% commission. We're going to give you 6% commission. Hey, come bring us buyers. I see a few of those. I don't see a lot.
Yeah, I see a few of those. What they're doing, which I think is, I think it's smarter. They are focusing on making sure the buyer has a better circumstance because I think the rates, they're reading the rates.
Right.
So they're offering to buy down the rates. You bring your realtor, the realtor will get the standard commission. They can go through the process with you. And then we might give you some design center credits because that's, they mark those up anyway. So it's better for them to do that than to offer the realtor a bonus of, they've done that for years, but I would much rather the buyer end up with that incentive.
I've seen them do both. There's a new construction neighborhood that's in the 500s that I've been talking about quite a bit in Dripping Springs. And I don't really remember I don't think they were offering anything special, but they were offering at the time, which these things change, like half off design, stuff like that. So it was definitely helped the buyer, but they were only going to spend 30 grand in upgrades anyway. So it's pretty nice little spot.
Yeah, that's great. 30 grand. What was that? Just flooring?
Pretty much is all it's going to cover.
Yeah.
But here's what's interesting. So, even with the Fed, and we'll talk about the Fed, and you talked about the rates, even with the Fed making that announcement, we're back up to 7%.
Yeah.
And so what's crazy to me is that we still had way more sales still on the heels of 7%. Look at where we've been here's the middle of May or end of May. We're at 7.14, middle of May. So the June numbers, when they come out, I don't think they're going to be anything spectacular because we've seen rates go up so much, but there's still a lot of activity in the market. I'm still seeing activity.
We're going to keep a lot of activity. And here's why. How many people do you know of that were trying to get situated and just couldn't find something?
Yeah.
Right. And that's still, you still have to think about the age, the demographic of the buyers that are living with their parents or have been with some kind of partnership situation. And they just want to buy their own place. There's still a lot of people like that waiting for rates. But what's been happening with the rates?
They're not coming down.
Up.
And so that goes to this Fed rate hike that they didn't do. My instinct was that we would see a huge drop in the 10-year treasury when they announced it. Well, here's the 10-year treasury. Let's see if I have it. I had it. The 10-year treasury didn't do anything spectacular today. It ended up down 0.04. Really? That's not, this is where, if people are falling and it's like,
are you supposed to be sharing? Nobody can see.
Oh, it's not sharing. My bad. Skis. Here you go.
Oh, good.
There you go. So, the 10-year treasury looks like it's popping back up a little bit. So it's not really down even after the news. So they usually price increases in. So without this dropping, we're not going to see drop in rates like I thought we would. Now we could see tomorrow that this drops down, rates drop down a little bit, but I was expecting tomorrow would be back at 6.5. Like we're going to see a big drop. That didn't happen. So what are your thoughts on the Fed rate pause?
So the biggest takeaway for me was that that Powell said, we're pausing, and that's great, but we're analyzing. And here's the line. I expect that we're going to go up at the end of the year. I still expect that we're going to go up at the end of the year. That to me was like, oh, okay. I didn't expect that. I figured they would pause, analyze, and then maybe they would start backing down a bit.
I think that, if you follow, Byron, this is something he's been talking about on his podcast. I think the Fed, with the CPI coming out and being more positive, and that inflation was around 4.1% or whatever it was, still housing was one of the largest key factors in that, in that. So they have been kind of anticipating that we'd pause, give it a month to see how that pause would impact it, and then go from there. So the fact that they're saying that we may still continue to increase is what people thought, is probably why we're not seeing the 10-year drop down. Because if you have to think about it, banks, the reason why banks are buying the 10-year, buying these other bonds, is because the lending back and forth is expensive right now. So they're going and buying bonds instead. I mean, you saw these bank failures, and part of that was to do with these bonds and having to put stuff in bonds. So it's interesting that rates didn't go down, or I don't think they're going to go down tomorrow. If they don't, Austin, with the amount of inventory we have, if you're a homeowner that's getting ready to sell, you're going to be kind of crying. Now, if you're a homeowner that doesn't care about selling, you're also like kind of hoping prices drop a little bit, even though that kind of impacts you because property taxes are crushing people right now. Jeez. Yeah. I have so many people upset about the property taxes. Insane.
I have an article up that talks about how Austin, like why Austin is unaffordable. Not an article, just data showing how Austin is unaffordable. And you know, we've known that, but
yeah. What does it say?
I'll show you. Hold on, let me find which one it is. So let me share this. It's from Texas A&M.
Who was one of the old economist guys you were talking to, Ian?
That was Jack Lieberman. We talked about, you know, maybe having him on one time.
Yeah.
You and I talked about it.
We could have brought him on today.
Could have. You should see it there.
Yeah. So, oh yeah, here you go. I want to get to this comment. Manish, I want to get to Manish. I'll get to it. All right. Oh, sorry. There you go. You got a command plus.
Can I do it this way? Command? What do you want, a Mac?
Yeah, baby. There you go.
So what it is, it's a ratio leveraging people based on their income, being able to put 20% down and 25% of their income free and clear to be able to purchase a home. So it's going through all the different counties, and here we are right here.
Well, Travis County's second to the bottom.
Oh yeah, Travis County. So you want to be 1 or above, meaning housing is affordable.
Mm-hmm. El Paso.
Yeah, it's El Paso. I'm surprised at Harris and Dallas County.
Look at Hayes County.
You know, Waco.
Hayes County's in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. See if we'll go scroll up and see if Williamson's on there.
Nope.
Wichita. I had a lady on my video that came out yesterday from Lubbock. I interviewed her on there. It was fun.
From Lubbock?
Yeah, we talked.
What's that?
Yeah, she left Austin for Lubbock. Well, Pflugerville for Lubbock. So what's interesting about this is, okay, maybe they threw in Travis. Well, see, they put Travis County on there, but they put Austin Round Rock. What's interesting to me is why we don't see where Williamson County ranks on here and then Bastrop County.
I'm thinking, yeah, the fact that they did this, the Austin Round Rock has to be representative of.
But then they put Travis County on there.
I know. Austin City.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
What does it mean that Williamson is not on the list? Well, it's interesting is like, okay, so you have that. Let me pull up Williams. I don't know. I don't know why Williamson's not on the list. That's what I'm a little confused by. But here's here.
And then all of Texas.
Let me switch to mine. Add the stream. There we go. So here's the May number. Maybe go in one more. Here's the May number. What were we just talking about? Oh, Williamson County. Yeah. Let's go Williamson County. Travis Williamson. So Williamson County is still down below the MSA, right? The MSA was at 467 or something around there.
Mm-hmm.
And Williamson County came in at 440. I mean, they're not bad. I mean, if you think about it, Williamson County 2.8 months inventory, while the MSA is 3.4.
Yeah, that's good.
Travis County's at 3.6. That's going to be a problem. Hayes County's at 3.9. Do you remember last year when Hayes County was like 0.4?
Yeah, 0.4, 0.6. 0.4.
But their closed sales are up. Look at that. Interesting. Their days on market. I mean, there's a lot in Hayes County right now, especially like in Dripping Springs. I'm surprised. I'll have to look at the numbers.
You know why that is, right?
Because there's a lot of new construction, but
right, because nobody wanted to move south before. Now it's just more affordable for people.
Well, I mean, people are going where it's affordable, right? So that's why, you know, Austin has 1,000 sales last month, and the MSA total is double that, right? So we're 1,000. If you think the total sales, right? Oh, here we go. Austin's 1,028, which I dispute that number. I pulled different numbers. If you take 1,028 off of the Round Rock MSA, I mean, there's way more selling outside the MSA. Also, it's a bigger area. But
I'm curious what people would want to see. I mean, if months on inventory makes sense, like when people are looking at houses, what do you look for in terms of how long a house has been on the market before you say, oh, something's got to be wrong with it? I heard that today and I was thinking, no.
Wow, this guy's ridiculous. So inventory is increasing. Rents are falling. Rents aren't falling as much as you think they are. Rents are falling. Interest rates are going up. People who are working from home are back in the Bay Area. This is the fall of Austin housing market. I agree with Jeremy's friend. And then he said, refraud consulting. I mean, that's funny. Even Aaron's disputing you. Rents are increasing in single family homes.
Yeah.
Yep. Reventure said Austin was going to crash, but I bought a house for $235,000.
When he bought the house for that.
Yeah, exactly. How much is that house worth now, Aaron? I mean, I'm sure it's come down, but
worth enough.
Worth enough. Here's the biggest problem with this idiot. I'm going to call him an idiot. So all of you, I got to get closer for this. Here's the problem. Okay.
And gotta zoom in for this. Hold on.
Here's the problem. Aaron said his house is now worth $450K. Okay. So there's this thought going around that you will own nothing and be happy. Okay. Mm-hmm. And so you have people who that don't understand that the way you build generational wealth, one way is through buying homes. And I completely understand that there's a big segment that are getting into that home buying age and feel priced out with rates, with everything. Totally get it. And they are just waiting and praying for a crash. Nationally, that's just not happening. Nationally, it's not happening. And Austin's a totally different story, which is fine. But here's the thing. If you are going to say, I'm going to just continue to rent because rates, or I'm going to continue to rent because renting is cheaper. Okay. And you don't buy a home. And let's say 4 or 5 years from now, prices do rebound and come back up, and you didn't buy in any of that time frame. Now you are still sitting on the sidelines regardless. And you have fallen into that trap, which is what that refraud is selling you, is that just don't rent and be happy. That guy could have bought a home in 2020 before he left for Dallas. He could have bought a home in Dallas. He is still renting. Why? Why would he rent when there's so much data out there that shows you how much money you could make? I mean, think about it. I have a client that just sold their property. We just sold their property. These people bought a home with a FHA down payment assistance. We just sold their home and they made like $250,000. They couldn't make that much at their job in that amount of time that we had their home. So I think it's ridiculous that he's not giving two sides of the story. I will go ahead and tell you, yes, the market is not as hot. It's still hot, but I'm telling you that we are going to see prices drop. I'm telling you that, but I'm being honest with you. He's not being honest, and his data is so cherry picked. It's ridiculous. Go ahead, Ian.
I was just going to say, I mean, the data's been out there forever. The amount of wealth in the country, or the net worth for most people in the country, is in real estate. And as I was pulling that up, like median net worth for, let's go with average real quick. Net worth for American citizens is $95,000 for people that don't own a home, and $1 million for people that do. That's a big disparity. And median is $6,300 for people that don't own a home. So living paycheck to paycheck. We know most Americans live that way. And then the median net worth for people that do own a home is $255,000 across the country.
Yeah. So it's interesting. So Manoush, hopefully I'm saying this correctly.
Munish.
Here's something that I think that is very confusing to people when they are talking about the suburbs and Austin. And this is why it's important to get both sides of the story. The people that pull this data have no actual knowledge or cardinal knowledge of what's happening. Yeah, Reventure could have bought in 2020. He could have.
Well, you don't know that.
I mean, who knows?
You don't know.
He should have. It should say he should have bought in 2020.
Yeah, but I mean, maybe he was living paycheck. Like, we don't know what was going on.
Right. But yeah, that's the whole point. Again.
Yeah.
So, did you tell me to lose my train of thought? No, it was. It was this. The biggest problem is that when people look at Austin and they look at the numbers, they don't understand that Caldwell County, which is not even representative of the 5 counties of Austin, drags down those numbers.
Yep.
It is a big anchor. I just showed you the price disparity between Austin and that other. Look, so here's City of Austin. If we go so MSA is everything, right? Mm-hmm. If we go to Austin, prices in Austin, 550. I would debate this and say it was 565, but whatever. So they're much higher, but this is just Austin. So when you look and somebody tells you Austin is doing this, know that Williamson County is pulling those numbers down. Travis County is not. Hayes is pulling those numbers down.
Yeah, Bastrop.
Caldwell County, way down below, is dropping those numbers down. Bastrop is dropping those numbers down. You're talking about 5 counties. If you want affordability, go to Bastrop. If you want affordability, not really Williamson, but go to Caldwell County. Yeah. What's in Caldwell County? It's far away from Austin. So I think that's where these people that pull this information and try to tell you, I know what's going on, I'm so smart, everything's going to crash, but they go by these numbers, or they go by Zillow numbers, or they use Redfin data, which isn't full complete data. You're better off using these numbers. You should actually look at the numbers. I actually look at the interior numbers. I look at the zip codes to tell you what zip codes are seeing the biggest inclines. There are multiple apartment communities and many homes here. There are many, yes. And if you actually, there's a report out about the percent of new builds, like new communities like this. And Austin was like 5th on the list. Like Sarasota was really high up there. Phoenix was up there. Like Austin was like 4th or 5th on the list. So it's not as many as some of the other areas. There are multiple apartment complexes and many in same neighborhoods that are sitting on the market approximately 60 days that rents are dropping to attract. Were they overpriced to begin with? That's the question.
Yeah, if they were overpriced. And also, like, if you have a single family home and there's like 4 apartment complexes that went up next to you, sorry, but that was just a bad pick.
Well, that's the thing too. If you think about it, like when I just bought a property. Aaron can understand this, and Aaron's going back and forth in the comment section. Thanks, Aaron. I just bought a property, or I'm buying, and we closed in a week. And when we looked at the rental rates and what we're going to rent this out for, my wife instantly went, "Oh, it can rent for $28.50 a month." Okay. She looked at one comp that was at $28.50, but didn't look at that comp in comparison, didn't look at anything. And I said, hold on a second. And I went back through and I looked at the comps. I looked very diligently. I'm like, we're going to be probably $2,600 to $2,650. That's probably where we're going to be. She's like, that's so low. Well, what would my wife like to do? She would like to list it initially for $28.50.
Right.
Okay. So if I initially list it for $28.50, but I know it's going to rent for $26.50, it's going to sit on the market for 60 days until I drop it to $26.50.
Right.
That is how the math works.
Yeah.
Jaden clipped this and put this because this needs to be a reel for the channel, because that is exactly what's happening. Think about this. When you have these big communities coming up, what do they want? They're reaching for the fences. They want 2022 numbers. Everybody, every seller wants May 2022 numbers when they're selling their house. Ian, how many of your sellers go, hey, I'd love to get those 2022 numbers? And that's why we just go ahead.
Not the 2022 numbers. Yeah, they do want the 2021 numbers.
Yeah, right. Exactly. But that's not realistic. Yeah. And that's the problem with a lot of the investors that got into the market in 2021, 2022. Mm-hmm. We were not anticipating the Fed raising rates to a point that made a very unstable market and trying to force a decline in home prices. That's what we're happening here. And this is why you keep saying, oh, Reventure's right. He's not right. Refraud's not right. Did he say that interest rates were going to go up this much? Never did, because he didn't see it coming.
I had a buyer that actually got mad at me for that once. That the interest, she was like, well, you didn't tell us the interest rates were going to go up. And I was like, what? Yeah. How would I know that?
Yeah. I love Aaron.
Yeah. That's a good point. The fact that if you are waiting for the rent, waiting for the right tenant, then you end up losing money more often than not. You end up losing money by waiting, because you end up paying another mortgage plus utilities. And
and I don't disagree with this. Right. If you're looking at just as an investor, and I understand what you're saying here. So what he's saying is, for an investor, you have to put 40-50% to cash flow positive in current market. That's because interest rates for investors are almost 8%.
Yeah. Makes a lot more sense.
And property taxes have gone up drastically. So I don't disagree. If you're an investor, buy outside of Austin. My Dripping Springs property should do pretty well. My New Braunfels property, can't complain. My South Austin property, can't complain. I complain about taxes, but sure.
I like Aaron's second comment. That one right there. That's
this one.
Yeah, so good.
There are deals to be had. I can get you a cash flow deal tomorrow. You will not need to put 40% down. That's only if you are renting new construction. See, that's true.
There are a lot of people that will stick to new construction thinking, well, I'm not going to have any problems.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily the case. I'm not going to have any problems. I've got a warranty for 10 years. It's not the right way to think.
Yeah. I mean, I had a potential client reach out to me that they bought during the pandemic with a different realtor. They bought properties that were a little over 500,000 in areas that had high tax rates. What do we talk about on this channel a lot? Don't buy it. Try not to, or understand, right?
At least understand them. Understand what you're getting into.
Right. And he reached out to me saying, hey, these don't cash flow anymore because of taxes. And I think I need to sell them, but the prices have dropped because I bought at the peak.
Yep. It's like 3 strikes right there.
Yeah.
All the strikes.
And one of the comments was like, I wish I had listened to you about buying in a high tax rate. Because not every agent is going to tell you about that.
It's always so enticing. Yeah. They know what they're doing when they're building these neighborhoods. Just like the model homes, you go in there and you want all the stuff that's in the model home, and you get in there and you see the actual home, and it's like, well, half of it's missing. Well, yeah.
Yeah, I like. What up now? Hello, good to talk to you. People who sit on the sidelines will be the first ones to chase when the rates start to erase or to ease. So what's interesting is, I'm talking about the interest rates here, Ian. Let's say we're talking about all the inventory, right? Let's say with this pause, tomorrow the 10-year drops drastically. Let's say it drops over the next month. Okay. And we get rates back down to 6%, maybe, just 6%. What do you think happens to all this inventory?
It disappears.
Because interest rates are going to drop a little bit. If they did, I'm just saying this is an if. So something to keep an eye out. If rates do drop down, and then what's going to happen? All this inventory, you're going to see, I'm telling you, you're going to see prices drop over the next few months. So buyers be ready, sellers be prepared, yet you're going to see everybody back in the market because prices have come down. Okay. Prices are coming down. Great. And interest rates come down. A lot of those buyers have been sitting there. I mean, I can tell you the success rate that I'm having with my clients that are FHA that are finally jumping in, and it's good right now for them.
Yeah. Oh, it's great.
Yeah. My clients it's
FHA,
funny though.
BA, get in there.
My clients in the luxury market, my clients in the luxury market, 1 million to 2 million, they're loving it right now. Because prices aren't like, if you look at, if you were to pull up right now, and I could probably do this, all the homes that closed between we'll just go with $900 and $2 million. And if we looked at what the price to sale ratio was, I bet you it's less than 94%. I bet you, because that's the market as a whole is 94%. Yeah. I'll pull it up. I didn't say it was a good time to buy now. I said
straight to voicemail. with
Jesus.
the South Park. Who is this person?
I said, fuck, these people just don't listen sometimes, Ian. Jeez, I did not say right now is a good time to buy. I didn't say that. If you're going to buy and you need to buy a home that you're going to hold on for a few years. I think I've said that forever. If you're one of those people, it's like, I'm waiting for a deal potentially in the next 3 to 4 months, maybe even longer, you're going to see better deals. That's what
also depends on what kind of home. If you're talking about a house that someone's desperate to sell, that's why I was laughing. But like I one of the houses that I'm under contract with right now, one of the people passed away. And they just have to sell it. They can't afford it. They can't afford the taxes. Their parents are in a bad situation, and their partner passed away. So they're like, we got to go. We got to go. So it's that in that case, it would be a good time for someone to pick up that house. Yeah. You can't just generalize that statement. It's not a good time to buy. Everyone has a unique situation. For the general public who is looking for an investment home in Austin to cash flow, specifically in a new construction neighborhood, it might not be the best time to buy this minute. Might not. But then you got to look at the incentives. You got to look at all the other factors in there. You can't just assume that.
What is this guy even talking about? I think this guy just likes to. I'm going to stop clicking on his things because maybe I'm just giving him too much time because I'm saying the same damn thing. This guy. It's my dream to buy a home, but can't afford it. I'm a teacher. My husband is a counselor, and I have 2 kids in childcare. That's expensive. Trust me, I know.
Yep.
We are renters because we only got approved for $270 with down payment assistance. Well, what part? Like, so the
where are you
looking direct? Yeah, are you looking in Austin? I mean, if you're looking at Austin, $270 is going to be really tough. And if you're working in Austin, that's the tough part. That's the tough part. If you're working one of these jobs that you're not making, what's the median? Like 90,000, 98,000, somewhere around there. If you look at the Chamber of Commerce.
Proper, I think it's 110.
Is it 110? If you're not in that range, it is very tough to live in Austin. I am not disagreeing with you one bit. And that was, if you watch the video I shot and did that came out yesterday, I interviewed locals because you don't want to always hear from a real estate agent, hear from the locals. I actually interviewed locals and I said, is it expensive? And if you go watch the video I put out yesterday, there's a wide range of people saying different things. One family I talked to was like, we're reconsidering living in Austin because we're thinking about kids. We're at that time. Yeah. We live in South Austin. We love South Austin, but we don't know if it's going to be affordable enough for us to live here. So that's also why you're seeing so much inventory sit on the market. Is it so expensive?
These comments.
Is it Ian with the South Park face?
Oh, it's
red
not showing
heart
it's not showing the thing. I just saw side note, I just saw Book of Mormon. You want to laugh? Geez. On Broadway. You want to laugh? Okay. God, it's so good. Oh my goodness. Written by the same people that did South Park. That's why.
Oh, Gotcha. Interesting. It's been a fun one tonight, man. We haven't done this in a while.
Yeah, it's been a minute. Financial Peace University.
Yeah.
Is that a real school? It probably is.
Yeah. So it's the last time I'm clicking on this guy. I love you. Thank you for commenting. You're making it very joyful. But I'm saying that because we're about to end in about 5 minutes. Okay.
So best time by the end of the year. And Aaron says he's going to buy beginning of next year.
Okay.
That's what he's anticipating.
Look, here's the thing. So let's take out the market conditions altogether, right? Take the market conditions where we are right now out altogether.
Yeah.
If you are someone who is price sensitive and trying to figure out when is the best time to buy, here, I will help you out.
Price sensitive,
right?
I gotta say it like that.
Well, I mean, that's.
I mean, like everybody, not everybody, but most people are budget sensitive, right? But everybody's budget is different.
So let me see if I can pull up. Here we go. This will be helpful. Okay, so if you look at this, look at where prices typically go. We start out the beginning of this year. I'm okay. We started at the beginning of this year at 525. Over the springtime, we saw kind of a lull. So this year probably wouldn't have been a bad year to buy the first beginning half of the year, especially now that rates are at 7%.
Oh yeah, I've had feedback. Yeah, they were happy.
So remember when we were saying, hey, it's not that bad of a time. It was like, oh, realtors trying to sell stuff. All right. The last month, it's kind of tough, right? But if we look at, like, let's say 2021 is closer to a normal year, closer. When's the best time to buy? January, February, September.
Yeah.
If you look at last year, it was the end of the year. So there's not necessarily a great time to buy, but the beginning or the end of the year are probably going to be your best bets. So if you're trying to get a good price. Now look,
that's the problem with this is you don't know your dream house, the house that you want might actually come on the market in November. It doesn't matter what the time, like it depends on who you are in that moment. I have people that have bought in off seasons and had the best deal because the seller needed to go before the beginning of the year, and it just made the most sense. And the buyers walked away with a really solid opportunity and the house that they wanted. Yeah.
I don't know who Brian.
That's a South Park. Come on,
Brian Boitano. Oh, okay. What would Brian Boitano do?
Yeah.
Oh God.
That's such a good show. It's so bad that I even care about that, but it's so good.
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is back on, and I forgot how great that show is. I was hanging out at the pool with the TV on, and I was clicking through and just clicking on YouTube.
Did you just reference your pool in third person?
Yeah.
Okay. I was just making sure.
I don't know that I reference it in third person, but I'm sitting there at the pool, my pool, and I'm like, oh, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. They have a podcast? Cool. I click on that, and I'm just kind of sitting in the hot tub, enjoying 8 o'clock at night, making my neighbor mad. It's summertime. Let's get the TV on. And I'm like, God, Always Sunny in Philadelphia is hysterical. How come I don't watch it like every single day? Anyway.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'll tell you what. I was in Philly last week or the week before. It's not that sunny. It's not that nice.
I think that's the whole point of.
Oh, I didn't know that. It's not that nice.
Let's keep it real. Austin was a pandemic bubble. I don't disagree. Texas has a
lot of big cities were pandemic bubbles.
True.
But yes, Austin was leading the pack.
Yeah, for sure. Texas still has lots of good attributes, but property taxes are out of control and the state is rapidly shifting left politically due to invasion.
Untrue. That second one is untrue.
I haven't seen the stats per se to say whether that last half of that's correct or not, but I will agree with the first part of that.
You got to pull up Snopes on that one.
I don't trust Snopes. Are you kidding me? Get out of here with that.
Listen, there are a lot of.
It's not called Snopes. It's called Snopes is what it's called. So clip that. That's funny. And
weather is dreadful. I was out on the boat last weekend, and it was wonderful. I loved every second of it.
Oh man, that's funny. The boat. Can you do another video of comps based on the zip codes? That takes me a little time to do because it's very tedious. I don't have an assistant to do that. The weather is dreadful. Dude, it's going to be 107.
Come on. Look at this. Look at this sad guy. Look at him. In there.
Oh man. Mine was just a minute ago. It's going to be 107. We decided not to do all-star baseball this year because my wife was like, yeah, man, I want him to do all-stars, but it's going to be so hot this summer. And then I saw 107 on this weekend. And I'm like, I am so happy we are not doing that. You know what? I think so. Aaron's, yes. I don't think it's a bubble. I've lost $450K in equity. I think once rates go down, it will skyrocket it back up. I wouldn't say necessarily.
He's talking about equity across the board.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but he's probably up in equity as well from across the board.
Yeah.
What's interesting is I think what the pandemic did for Austin is two things. Number one, it drove a lot of people to Austin.
Yeah.
which created this bubble. Number two, I think prices where they are today, if I drew a line, and I actually have a graph where I've done this. If I drew a line of like what the average growth was, if you take and chopped off 2021, 2022, we're right on track where we'd have been just from 2019 to now, like that 6-7% growth year over year. But what it did for the second thing was kind of realize what Austin can be. The challenge with Austin is that Austin is not set up to take this growth. While they have the chamber, there's an article out today where the Chamber of Commerce and the other group that are along with the Chamber of Commerce are splitting. I think it's all over money. It's got to be all over money, because one is actually going out and bringing in businesses. The other is doing stuff locally to cultivate businesses. Yet, I think what it did is make people realize how great Austin could be. Unfortunately, Austin wasn't ready for the growth. And Austin's never been ready for that growth. And if you think about it, Austin is the now number 10th largest city in the US. It was 11. So how did that happen? Everybody moved here. We were not ready for that. We're just not ready for it.
Did you hear about you saw the Project Connect revised plan?
Oh, bro,
look, both Jeremy and I have multiple doodles. It's fine.
Yeah.
Did you see the revised plan on that?
Yeah, I did. I talked about it in a video.
Oh, did you? Oh my gosh, man. That was like, we're going to spend this much money and we're going to do this. Wait. Never mind. We're going to have to scale it back way more. And we'll give you one of these 5, maybe.
And then they picked one of the 5. Now, the whole selling point for this thing, it's just going to be underground.
Yes. Yeah.
It's going to bring the Biopic group from the east side into Austin.
Yep.
Which it touches Southeast Austin, but it doesn't touch East Austin. So all it does is create more busing.
Yep.
That's all it did.
One of the options will at least take you to the airport.
Well, no, they picked an option. They finally picked an option.
Oh, did they? I missed that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. They picked the option. So the initial plan was it was going to run from the airport, go through, connect to the red line, which takes you up through, and it would have a station up
Leander.
Yeah, but it was going to have a station up at the Q2 stadium.
Yeah.
The revised one barely goes into Southeast Austin and goes up to like 40th.
Yeah.
It does nothing. Like, and it's a $7 billion.
Yeah. Where's your South Austin now?
Oh, bro. Some people from South.
They just said, forget about it.
People in South Austin aren't taking that thing anyway. Let's just be honest.
They're all on electric bikes.
Yeah.
Or one wheels.
On one wheels. Yeah. They're what are those shoes that you like? The all joys or something like that.
All birds.
All birds.
They're all birds. I love those.
This guy is funny. I project Jeremy flees back to California. Nope.
No way.
No, I'm not going back there. No. Trust me. I am not going back there.
No. Jeremy's he's a Hawaii guy.
Unless you bought me a house in San Diego for like $6 million overlooking the ocean, I am not moving back. Georgetown is definitely not ready for the existing and future growth and the surrounding cities. They have like
3 HEBs in Georgetown. They're fine.
I'm glad that you brought that up, because let's talk about some fun things here. Boom. Oh man, I hate this stupid banner on top. Georgetown is the fastest growing city in the US.
Yeah, but it's been for a minute, right? Like, that's not news.
I mean, maybe 2 minutes, but let me pull this comment off so I can read this. So what's interesting about this maybe wasn't the article I was going to reference. There's another one over here. Is it this one? No. Which one was it? Oh, it was a Statesman. Oh, here he is. So on the Statesman, Georgetown, Kyle, Leander, and New Braunfels were all in the top like 10 cities.
Of those, which ones do you think will continue that growth trend the longest?
Georgetown, Kyle, Leander, and New Braunfels. All four. You
think all 4?
Oh, of course, yes.
They're all on the growth corridor except for Leander.
But
Leander has a lot of projects going there, and it's a well-designed city, according to the former mayor, right?
Well, yeah, you could be right. You could be right about Leander.
It's like
everybody's going up towards, so everybody's kind of bypassing Leander right now and headed towards Liberty Hill. So
yes,
maybe you see Liberty Hill on this list in a couple of years. Liberty Hill just still does not have the infrastructure for growth. I mean, it just really does not. Leander doesn't necessarily either, but it's getting better.
Saw a house today I was doing a buyer consult, saw a house today, and we were looking in Leander, the property taxes, the ISD. So it was Leander ISD, Leander address, but the property taxes were paying Liberty Hill. I was like, huh.
Interesting.
That was interesting.
Well, I mean, it depends. What was that Morningstar you were in?
Nope.
Oh,
no, it was it wasn't Santa Rita either. It was
yeah. I just sold one in Morningstar.
Larkspur? I think Larkspur.
Larkspur, yeah. Larkspur's like, yeah, those, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I know it's on the border. It's just like, really?
What's up now? It says no dripping.
Because it
correct. Do not move to dripping.
The thing about dripping,
if you're in Austin, stay in Austin.
It's not a high growth. It's not supposed to be a high growth area. It's near the water. I mean, it's not even near the water. Not really. So school district right now is the only big thing. School district and large lots and privacy.
Here's the problem with here's the problem with Dripping Springs. Here's the problem with Dripping Springs. The growth is a problem because of water. That's one. They don't have a big enough treatment plant. So that is all wrapped in one. But here's the problem with Dripping Springs. When you look at Dripping Springs, you have neighborhoods that still have an Austin address, even though they go to Dripping Springs schools.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
So people can still have an Austin address, but still go to Dripping Springs schools.
Yep.
And so that kind of impacts, if you look at the number of people that live in Dripping Springs, it's a lot less than the actual people that go to Dripping Springs schools. It's probably double. Like if you look at the median, it's like what, 8,000 people live in Dripping Springs. If we pull it up, 8 to 10,000, it's probably 20,000 total. So that's one thing. So it's hard to like, because the zip codes overlap going into Dripping Springs. Mm-hmm. Dripping Springs doesn't have the infrastructure to grow the same way Kyle, Georgetown,
right?
Well, because there's really like there's one way in and it's from the Y, or 1826 the back way. So because there's not, I mean, I think if for some reason Dripping Springs says, hey, let's widen the freeway and go 8 lanes on the freeway and get people in and out of Dripping Springs, then you'll probably see a massive expansion. Here's the thing. Everywhere you go around Dripping Springs is all apartment buildings being put up everywhere.
We'll see what happens when the Boring Company really starts focusing on this area, Central Texas, because I would love to see a tunnel from Dripping Springs to Bastrop. I'd love to see that. Just straight through Austin.
From Dripping Springs to I would too.
And I'm right about, I mean, somebody put somebody put, they think Bastrop is going to be a hub. And I think Aaron even said East. And I agree because that's along 290. So anybody who has family in Houston or wants to go there or works in between, that's a huge growth corridor. Anything along 290. It's not as exciting. Like you don't want to go to Houston, but you have
Did you see that Texas just signed? It was like less than $1 billion, like $700 million advancement for bringing microchips to Texas.
I didn't. What's that related to?
Let me see if I could find it. Help wanted for $1.6 billion. Oh, I saw that. Where was this? I saw it in the Austin Business Journal. It was like $700 million that they're putting up to lure more investments in microchips into Texas. So
we need it.
Yeah, I mean, who is going to benefit from that? You're going to see Taylor, Williamson County, Bastrop's going to benefit from that. Kyle,
Taylor, yeah. Well, Austin too. We've got Silicon Labs and a couple other NVIDIA's there, Qualcomm. We've got a lot there.
I love Mark.
No. See, self-driving, right? Like you just put them there and it just goes, right?
Yeah, self-driving into a wall. You want to put terrible Texas drivers are going to find tunnel. Yeah.
No.
Joe says with no road improvement and a cat metro train that gets 1% of city of Texas, Leander cannot sustain. Yeah, true.
I will say the former mayor, didn't he try to cancel that, or somebody tried to cancel that project?
Yeah, they've yeah.
But everybody else wants a train.
Right.
Yeah. How many times have you taken the train downtown, Jeremy, or like anywhere in Central Texas, in the Austin area?
Dude, I've never taken a train in Austin ever.
I haven't either, and that's a shame. Let's take the train together. Let's drive up to Leander.
Let's drive up to Leander to take. Can't we drive to somewhere downtown and take the train to Leander? I mean,
it's fun.
Oh, you were up in Leander anyway.
No. Yeah, I mean, I'm there a lot.
Jeez, this is getting out of control. I mean, what? If I'm in Leander and I want to work downtown, then yeah, the train makes perfect sense.
Oh, absolutely. But that's or like Cedar Park, Leander, Cedar Park, North Austin.
Right.
It all makes sense.
But
what doesn't make sense is living in South Austin.
I'm not going to drive to downtown to then hop on a train and go to Leander. I might as well just keep driving to Leander.
Because you'll be in one lane the whole time. By the time you get there, it's already time to turn around.
Like, think about it. By the time I get to downtown from Dripping Springs, we're talking 25, 30 minutes, right? Maybe 35 minutes, depending on traffic. By the time I find a parking spot, allow my car to get broken in downtown and all my stuff stolen, and I get on the train and the train makes the 2 stops to Leander, I would have already been in Leander. So why would I even think about taking the train?
You talk about your car getting broken into. You know, the worst place for your car to be if you want it to get broken into is Mount Bunnell.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's terrible. All you see is glass all over the place. Mayfield Park, not so much, but Mount Bunnell, every single time I'm there, someone's getting broken into. It's bad.
I would not pick any of those 3.
All three are
extremely high property taxes.
Very high property tax rates. But Sunfield has a really cool lazy river for their amenity center. Easton Park has a really cool amenity center altogether, and a large dog park, if that matters to you at all, for your doodles, if you have doodles.
That's
what
okay,
is that?
I like it. Mark says I should, for a new video idea, interview the people on the train. It's a good one. It's a good one. Headwaters, it's like 2.7% tax rate.
That's lower than the other 2.
Yeah, it's come down a little bit. Easton Park, I think, is still around 3%. Sunfield is still around 3%. So if you're looking at all 3 of these, you're like, and all 3 of them are completely like different areas.
Completely far away from each other. Sunfield at least is off of 35. If you want like practicality, at least it's off of 35 in Nowheresville on your way to somewhere.
Easton Park, I think, is still tough because like you have to want to drive to get into there to be in there.
Easton Park there's great if you only go to the airport and you only stay in your house, like your neighborhood.
Yeah. There's no, and they still haven't even put the HEB out in Del Valle yet, which would be close to you. So it's ridiculous. You have to drive all the way down William Cannon to get William Cannon or Stastny to get over to the other.
Also,
HEB.
Why are those the choices? Who gave you those choices?
Yeah. I don't know. This is fun, man. We should just do a whole like answer the public style thing. The train works for tech workers in the city. Of course. We lost that guy, man. I feel bad. He left. Manish. I probably said that.
Well, he didn't leave. He's just staying quiet. He's staying quiet and waiting until the end of the year.
Pflugerville or Georgetown? Georgetown. I don't remember why we were doing that.
Depends if what's relevant to you: schools, taxes, something to do.
It doesn't make sense. You drive to get on the train, to go to work, then to get back on the train. Yeah.
Depends. Do you get paid to drive? Do you get paid for travel?
No, he's just saying you like that's what you like to go to work, not that you're getting paid for it. Any clue when would the Y Junction construction be finished? Does it cut the commute time to Austin down to Dripping Springs? I don't know when it's going to be done, but it's only going to save you about probably 7 minutes from where it's at right now.
That's a big deal, though. That's kind of a big deal. If it drops from 30 minutes or 25 minutes to 18, it's pretty significant.
Well, it's not. I don't think so. Here's the deal. So here's the problem. It depends on where you are in Dripping Springs. From where I am, it's 30 minutes. From where Dripping Springs proper is, it's probably 40 minutes. Maybe, about 40 minutes. Because on 290, you hit light. So if you got rid of a lot of those lights, and then the only part you've picked up a little bit of time is through, you don't have to stop at the light at HEB potentially. You don't have to stop at the light. Maybe you still do. I don't know. You don't have to stop at the light at William Cannon or Convict Hill, or there's one more light in there at the Y. So you've saved four lights, which is going to be about 7 minutes. So yeah, I mean, you'll save 7 minutes.
The straight to voicemail, this guy.
I love it. I am jealous. Why can't we pass something like that? I'm not jealous. I'm angry. That's what it is. I'm angry. I'm not jealous. I'm angry. Aaron says that's how it works. That's how it works in a lot of expensive cities like Seattle. Well, that's why we don't live in Seattle. It's gross.
What does Joe say?
Joe says, name the cities where mass transit works.
Singapore.
In the United States.
Listen, just because we don't do it right doesn't mean it doesn't work. Gosh.
I mean, I think Joe wins this round against you, Ian, because you couldn't even name one.
I did. I named a city-state.
Houston. Mass transit works in Houston. Just kidding. All right, we're done. It's been way longer than an hour. I appreciate everybody. Ian, last words.
Now's a good time.